It's not often that you and your bestie realize that your bestie very nearly likely got schmafficked by the most famous Mr. Illusionist, right? David. I'm going to be coded because of how TikTok is treating my videos. So um, she was visiting here yesterday, and I told her that I'd seen a video where someone was talking about how Rump and this other guy, Paulo Zappelli, I don't know, something like that, had built their businesses very similar. They'd done it with all this real estate and then having modeling agencies where they would have these young girls come and like, entertain and stuff, thinking that that would sell more property. And of course, the girls were never paid. They were just used for whatever. And in the picture, I saw Rump and I saw Paulo, some guy I didn't know, and then I saw Mr. Illusion right there in the group photo. And I thought, oh my gosh, haven't thought about him in years. So she was here and I told her about that. And she's like, oh my gosh. And she's like, that's weird and scary. And so she was working on some things. And so I started Googling and I said, were they friends? What pictures were there? And sure enough, oh, of course, one of the besties. And lots of pictures of them together. And so she and I were talking about how that had happened because I didn't remember the whole story very well. And she had been visiting um, her friend in Chicago and her friend's husband. And they'd gotten tickets to see him because this was when very popular, dating Claudia Schiffer, which made him a lot more popular than he was. And so they went and they were near the front, I guess. So when it came time to have a volunteer come up, of course, he picked her. And now my friend is stunning. Like she doesn't walk through anywhere where people don't go. Okay. So he calls her up. And then afterwards, he has someone come down and say he would like you to come backstage and talk to him. So she goes backstage and basically says, how great she was. And basically, they would like her to start working with them and start traveling with them. Like, how great would that be? You're just so wonderful. So they give him a number. I don't know about what's the deal was with cell phones at the time. So I think it was just her friend's phone number where she lived. So uh, anyway, so they go back there. He calls like the next day or the day after and wants her to meet with him. Now, my friend would not get on the phone. She was weirded out by the whole thing. But her friend got on there and pretended to be her because she thought the whole thing was funny. And she just wanted to understand like why he would do that if he's dating Claudia Schiffer. So she got on there and she's like, well, now what did you want to do? He's like, I rented out a whole theater. We can just watch a movie together. And she says, but you sound like you have a cold. He's like, I do, but it's so worth it to meet you and spend time with you. And she said, aren't you like with Claudia Schiffer? And he's like, well, yeah. And she's like, well, then is that even good for you? He's like, look, there's more risk for me than there is you. Like very hostile, very rude. And so she ended up saying, no, well, she said, can my friend come with me? I'd feel better if my friend came with me. He's like, no, I just want this to be private. Can't be anybody else. And so then she says, oh, well, then I guess I can't come. Fine. Like very rudely and angrily hung up. So that was it. But then she comes back to Arizona and hears someone in a salon. So she's sitting in a salon and she hears another young woman talking about how they got her backstage and said, oh my gosh, you need to start traveling with us. You could go all these different places. Come work with us. You're just so wonderful. The same crap. And then I don't know the exact time frame, but anyway, probably within like a year or two. So she goes to visit a different friend in Vegas who had gotten tickets to see him again. And she's just like, oh my gosh, but they were excited. So she went. And again, they're kind of up close to the front. And he does the show. And then right at the end, he sees her and he bolts. And she said it was so strange because I didn't expect him to recognize me, but as soon as he saw me, he was just like, get me out of here. There was no, kind of standing like, thank you, thank you. He saw her and he bolted. So then we were looking up if he had anything to do with this stuff. And there were interviews, and I don't know if it was like for the 2016 stuff, I think maybe, but they were asking him, did you give women or give JE tickets so that women would come backstage so he could meet them? Did you bring women backstage to help facilitate things? Did you do this? Did you do this? I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. All of it. And then, as someone that was abused by JE said, that she had talked to him. I don't know if it was at the island, but I believe he'd been there. And she said that he told her, he's like, that like these girls go out and get more girls. Like he knew, like he flat out said it. I don't know if he's one of the one that helped get the girls. Like I don't know how it all worked, but I know he seemed to be very much a part of it. And the depositions are what locked it in. Anyway, so she and I, once it really clicked in, she was in the room listening to interviews about it because she's just like, no, that can't have been. And then all of a sudden, we start screaming and running around the kitchen, both hysterically laughing and nearly crying. And she's like, I'm so glad I didn't listen to my friend and go. I'm glad she didn't talk me into that. But yeah, so I'm wondering, like as time goes on and we learn more, how many women it's going to click for them and go, oh, so I almost got schmafficked. Great.